Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really zeroing in on the brand new Whoop 5.0 and also the Whoop MG.
That's right.
And our guide for this, well, this deep dive, is the really comprehensive coverage over on the 5K Runner website.
Yeah, a great resource.
Definitely written by someone who probably, like a lot of you listening, is really invested in fitness, wellness, and that whole area of health span.
Exactly. And, the insights from the 5K runner, they go beyond just like a basic product announcement. It feels like a genuinely informed take.
Right.
So our plan today is basically to unpack all of that for you. We want to pull out the really significant updates, what they actually mean for your wellness journey, without just drowning you in details.
Yeah, kind of the need to know stuff.
Think of it as your express route to getting what's new with Whoop.
And there really is a lot that's new, it seems. The author over at the 5K Runner, they really emphasize it's a fundamental shift, not just the hardware, but also how you actually get Whoop. The whole membership structure has been revised.
Totally revised.
Okay, so let's just dive straight in. It sounds like there's a bit of a new landscape to get our heads around first.
Likely. Yeah, where before you basically had one device, one subscription. The 5K runner points out you've now got two distinct strap options.
Okay.
There's the standard Whoop 5.0, and then this is Whoop MG, and these are offered across 3 different membership tiers, One, Peak, and Life.
Right. One, Peak, Life. So the actual devices, the 5.0 and the MG, are they fundamentally different in what they track day to day?
Well, interestingly, according to the 5K runner's analysis, the actual core sensor tech, it seemed to be identical in both.
Huh. Okay.
It's a new generation sensor, apparently faster, enhanced physiology monitoring, and, get this, both have that impressive 14-day plus battery life.
Wow, over 2 weeks. That really is a game changer for just leaving it on, isn't it?
Absolutely. Continuous tracking gets much easier.
So, okay, if the core tech's the same, then the different straps must unlock different software features based on that membership tier you pick.
That seems to be the model, yeah.
Let's talk about some of those new capabilities then. The 5K Runner highlights quite a few. That health span and pace of aging feature.
Yeah.
That really jumped out at me. Sounds like a major step for wearables.
Oh, it absolutely is. It's a significant new direction. Definitely looking more at the long-term view of health.
Right.
The 5K runner explains it helps you understand indicators, markers, really,
Yeah.
of how your body's aging. It even brings in this concept of a Whoop age.
Whoop age. Interesting.
Yeah, and it offers actionable advice too, especially around, crucial things like rest and recovery, all based on your specific data.
And what's really interesting, as the 5K Runner points out, isn't just that they're tracking these things,
Right.
but they're framing it within this idea of your long-term health trajectory. It's moving beyond just optimizing today's workout, isn't it?
Exactly. It's about understanding how today's choices might impact your vitality, years from now. It's almost like a little window into your body's future path.
And this isn't just Whoop's own internal metrics, is it? The 5K Runner mentioned Dr. Eric Verdin from the Buck Institute.
Correct. That collaboration, it definitely adds significant scientific credibility to this whole health span focus.
So what does it actually look at?
It analyzes 9 key biomarkers. Things like time spent in specific heart rate zones, how consistent your sleep is, your VO2 max, that's a measure of your aerobic fitness, and even lean body mass. But you need to connect a compatible smart scale for that one.
Okay.
The main goal is giving you a tangible sense of how your daily habits are, well, steering your long-term health. It's worth noting, though, this is available on the Peak and Life tiers.
Right, the higher tiers. That makes sense for a more advanced feature. Okay, now, another completely new thing the 5K Runner seemed quite excited about: daily blood pressure insights. It's in beta, but tell us about this.
Yeah, this is pretty innovative for a fitness tracker, just like the 5K runner said. It's available on the Life tier. And it uses the optical sensors in the device, the same was tracking heart rate and HRV, to estimate your overnight systolic and diastolic blood pressure ranges.
Estimate? How does it do that?
Well, it combines that sensor data with your demographics and, some pretty sophisticated algorithms to generate these estimates.
But it's crucial, as you said, they're estimates, right? The 5K Runner emphasizes this isn't a replacement for a proper cuff.
Absolutely not. It's about tracking trends over time while you sleep. Really useful for patterns, but if you have concerns or the numbers look way off, you still need a validated cuff.
So it's more about overnight patterns than like a precise reading you could take anytime, and the beta suggests it's still evolving.
Exactly that. The 5K runner makes that distinction clear. It gives you an overview of nighttime trends, not precise medically validated spot readings.
Right.
And interestingly, because it's trends and not, say, a diagnostic tool, it doesn't need the same level of FDA approval as a device for spot checks. But, and this is important, it does need initial calibration.
Ah, okay. How does that work?
You need to use a standard validated blood pressure cuff to give the Whoop algorithm a baseline reading to work from, specifically for you.
Okay, that distinction is really key.
Yeah.
Got it. Now let's move to the Whoop MG hardware and that top life membership. This is where we get into the more advanced health tracking stuff like the heart screener with ECG readings.
Yes, this is a major differentiator for the MG hardware and the Life tier. It gives you an on-demand electrocardiogram, an ECG.
Right.
And the 5K runner highlights this feature is actually FDA cleared. It's designed specifically to look for potential signs of atrial fibrillation, or AFib.
AFib, okay. That's a specific type of irregular heart rhythm.
Correct. And the MG also does passive monitoring, so it's constantly looking in the background for unusually high, low, or irregular heart rates.
And where do you see these readings?
Any readings, whether you take them on demand or they're picked up passively, they get stored in a dedicated heart screener section inside the app.
Now, the 5K runner also mentions specific limitations. It's clearly not for absolutely everyone.
That's right. The FDA clearance comes with specific conditions. It's not meant for people who already have known arrhythmias other than AFib.
Okay.
Also not for anyone under 22 or people with implanted cardiac devices like pacemakers or ICDs.
Right. Important caveats.
And the 5K runner also flagged the regional availability. As of early May 2025, that's the US, UAE, Qatar, New Zealand, Canada, the UK, and the EU.
Okay. And the tech behind it.
Yeah, the ECG uses algorithms from a company called Be Secure, which have FDA clearance under the name HeartKey.
Got it. So alongside the on-demand ECG, there are also these irregular heart rhythm notifications, IHRN, part of the same medical grade focus.
Exactly. They work hand in hand with that continuous passive monitoring on the Whoop MG.
So if it spots something.
If it detects an irregular rhythm that might suggest AFib, you'll get an alert, basically prompting you to, maybe check in with a doctor.
This all sounds incredibly powerful, a lot of deep health insights. But, I mean, with so much data, could it get a bit overwhelming?
That's a fair point.
And that seems to be where the AI assistant daily outlook comes in. The 5K runner described this as a real innovation.
It is, yeah. It's a really interesting and I think welcome development. The focus is on making all that rich data more understandable and, crucially, more actionable.
How does it do that?
Well, the AI assistant basically tries to help you interpret the numbers. It gives you daily motivation, too. As the 5K runner describes it, it explains your scores, suggests focus areas for the day,
Okay.
drawing on your recovery, strain, workout recommendations, even things like the weather, your goals, and those new health span insights we talked about.
Can it give concrete advice?
Yeah, that's the idea. For example, it might suggest breathing exercises if it detects your blood oxygen is a bit low, things like that.
That proactive element, suggesting actual actions, seems really useful for cutting through the noise. Okay, now, some existing features have also been updated, according to the 5K runner. The step counter is out of beta now.
Yes, exactly. And it's more integrated into that broader health span picture now. So your steps contribute to that whole physiological aging assessment.
And there's a completely new stress monitor, available on Peak and Life.
Correct, a brand new feature. It uses metrics Whoop already tracks, like heart rate variability, to give you an assessment of your current stress levels.
Sleep tracking's always been a Whoop strength, but the 5K runner mentioned a sleep performance update. What's changed there?
Well, the sleep score itself has been sort of reimagined. The emphasis has shifted a bit from just total sleep duration to a more rounded view of overall sleep quality.
Ah, okay.
The 5K runner points out the key metrics now being highlighted are more actionable. Things like hours slept versus your calculated need. Sleep consistency, so how regular your sleep schedule is. Sleep efficiency, basically, the percentage of time in bed you were actually asleep, and also instances of high sleep stress.
So it's focusing on things you can actually tweak to improve sleep and recovery.
Precisely. That seems to be the goal.
And it's great to see, as the 5K runner noted, that the women's hormonal insights are now standard across all tiers.
Absolutely. That's a really positive move. It uses AI and your biometric data to offer personalized insights on how hormonal changes might affect recovery, sleep, stress, training
Yeah.
across different life stages. Really valuable.
And finally, looking ahead, the 5K runner mentioned advanced labs coming soon. Sounds intriguing.
Yeah, this is teased as a paid add-on, expected in the US in 2025, available on all tiers.
What does it involve?
It'll let you schedule blood tests easily, and then you get clinician-reviewed reports right in the Whoop app.
Wow, integrating lab data.
Exactly. Seamlessly integrating that objective lab data with your continuous Whoop metrics. That could offer a much more complete picture of your health.
Okay, that's a really thorough look at the new features. Let's pivot now to the physical device. The 5K runner detailed some hardware and design changes too.
Yeah, the device body itself, it's actually smaller and lighter than the 4.0. About 7% smaller, Whoop says.
Noticeable difference.
Should be, yeah. And it's got a much faster processor, apparently 60% faster. The 5K runner notes this should mean a snappier app experience, faster syncing.
Which is always welcome.
Definitely. And as we said, that huge battery life boost over 14 days for both 5.0 and MG.
And the charging setup is new, and it depends on the tier you choose.
That's right. There's a new wireless power pack. It's waterproof, holds about 30 days worth of charge itself. Pretty convenient.
Okay.
Peak and Life memberships get this included. But if you're on the 1 tier, you get a standard corded charger.
But can one members buy the wireless one?
Yes, the 5K runner confirms that. 1 members can purchase the power pack separately if they want it.
Okay. What about straps? If you have a bunch of Whoop 4.0 bands, can you still use them?
Unfortunately, no. This is a key point the 5K runner highlighted. There's a new sliding clasp mechanism,
Oh, okay.
which means Whoop 4.0 bands, any accessories for the old one, they won't fit the 5.0 or MG.
Right. So you're starting fresh with accessories.
Pretty much. There are new straps, including a fancier Leatherlux range, and they've also got this W Whoop Body Smart apparel clothing designed to hold the sensor off wrist.
Interesting. But that clasp change is a big one for existing users.
Definitely something to be aware of if you're upgrading.
And they're sticking with the screen-free design.
Yep, that core philosophy hasn't changed. Still screen-free, all the data interaction happens in the app on your phone or device.
Okay, let's talk app and software improvements. The 5K runner mentioned a redesigned interface.
Yeah, the app's been updated to handle all the new features and the different tiers. It's meant to be more streamlined, more intuitive. Personalized plans are apparently more prominent now, right on the home screen.
What about activity auto detection? That's been a bit hit or miss sometimes. Any improvements?
According to the 5K runner's take, yeah, it's been refined. It's reported to be more reliable now at detecting the start and end times of workouts automatically.
Good news for many, I suspect. And for strength training users.
The basic strength trainer feature is similar, but the strength activity time is now more visible in your daily strain breakdown.
Ah, okay.
And it feeds into those health span markers too, so it gives a more sort of integrated view of all your training.
This all brings us neatly to the really crucial part, the membership tiers and pricing. This is a big structural change.
Huge change, yeah. As the 5K runner lays out really clearly, introducing these 3 tiers, 1, Peak, and Life, it's clearly designed to appeal to a wider range of users, and importantly, different budgets.
So Whoop 1, what's the deal there?
Whoop 1 is priced at EU $199, UK $169, or US $199 per year. It's positioned as the entry point for people who are active, interested in wellness, but maybe want a more affordable option.
And they miss out on
Some of the very latest features, like maybe the advanced health span stuff or the stress monitor, and they get the corded charger instead of the wireless power pack.
Okay. Then the middle tier, Whoop Peak.
Peak is EU $264, UK $229, or US $239 annually. This is aimed more at people really into their sports and fitness. The feature set here is pretty close to what you got with the old Whoop 4.0.
Right.
And importantly, the 5K runner highlights that existing 4.0 members who upgrade, they'll automatically go onto the Whoop 5.0 device with the Peak membership.
Ah, good to know. And finally, the top tier, Whoop Life, with the Whoop MG hardware.
Right. Whoop Life involves a one-time hardware cost for that MG device, EU $399, UK $349, or US $359. This is for users who want absolutely everything, all the features, including those advanced wellness insights like the ECG and the blood pressure trends.
It definitely sounds like they're trying to cover more bases now. What were the main takeaways from the 5K runner's perspective on all this?
Well, they acknowledge that, 2 hardware options, 3 tiers. It might seem a bit complicated at first glance.
Yeah.
But they concluded it actually makes strategic sense when you look closer. A key point they stressed is that Whoop is now tackling that budget-conscious segment with the 1 tier.
which they didn't really before.
Exactly. And at the other end, with Life, they're clearly targeting an older, maybe more health-focused demographic with those advanced, almost medically oriented features.
The ECG and AFib detection were seen as positive additions, even if other wearables do it now. But the 5K runner really singled out the blood pressure insights, calling it genuinely innovative.
Yeah, they really emphasize that. Apart from Samsung, Whoop is basically the first big, dedicated fitness wearable player to offer this kind of blood pressure estimation. They see that as a major step forward.
Right.
They also gave Whoop props for making the women's hormonal insights standard across all tiers, which, it's good to see.
And the app itself, still highly rated.
Absolutely. The 5K runner reiterates the Whoop app is still one of the best out there. Well-designed, feature-packed, user-friendly. They also noted that strategic shift towards broader wellness with health span or pace of aging, suggesting maybe other companies will follow that trend towards longer-term health metrics.
And the 5K runner wrapped up their deep dive with a really pointed question, didn't they? Subscription burnout or a nice hardware and features bump?
Yeah, that really nails the dilemma, doesn't it?
It captures that central decision for current users or anyone thinking about jumping in now.
It absolutely does. It's the perfect summary of the trade-offs. You've got these appealing new features, but also the complexity and the potential ongoing cost of the different subscription tiers.
So to kind of wrap up our deep dive into the new Whoop 5.0 and MG, drawing heavily on that great analysis from the 5K runner, we've seen some really significant changes.
Definitely.
Both in the hardware, sure, but maybe even more profoundly in how Whoop structures its whole offering now. These three tiers, one, peak life.
Yeah.
From that new focus on health span, the innovative blood pressure stuff, the medical grade ECG on the MG, there's clearly a lot for anyone interested to really weigh up.
Exactly. And the 5K runner's insights really help clarify who each tier is probably aimed at. The big takeaway is Whoop's evolving. It's giving you more options than before.
Right.
But it also means you need to think carefully about which level of features and which price point actually lines up best with your own health goals, your fitness needs, and maybe your long-term plans.
And that leads us perfectly into our final thought for you today. Thinking about your own fitness journey, your health span goals. Does this new tiered structure from Whoop actually offer the right mix of insights and features for you? Or does the added complexity, maybe the potential for, subscription fatigue, does that outweigh the benefit?
It's the key question.
Definitely. We strongly encourage you, if you want even more detail, check out the 5K Runner's full article on their site. It'll really help you form your own opinion on whether this latest evolution from Whoop makes sense for you.